Capricorn, you've entered the house of Sigils. Welcome in. This reading today will be for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and or Venus. You're receptive to. You're showing outwardly. We have the situation and the key. Begin by opening the door to Spirit. Now part the veil by becoming still. I'll step beyond myself, leaving the door open. Let's see what's really going on, Capricorn. What is the basic question? Ooh. The inspiration of fire. The Ace of Wands. Incredibly powerful, forward-moving card. You are currently inspired. Something is moving forward for you. Something is taking on a life of its own. This is the light and the darkness. This is the pure form of fire. This is an exciting time of your life, perhaps. A inspirational fire. Perhaps you have gotten a raise, you've won that trip, you've become elevated in some status, you've met your goal, perhaps you've won a prize. Let's take a look. Let's get a little bit of insight into the Ace of Wands. After all, there always does have to be a teacher, and it's nice to have a reference at hand. Sort of bring all the pieces together. The Ace of Wands, fire, high energy, strong energy, transformation. You're actually full of power and overflowing with this energy. Is it very possible that you've recently been freed from some situation and now you have all of this fire and energy and not sure which way to direct it, right? Sort of like holding this Roman candle. Oh my goodness, so much power here. Where do I direct this power? What do I do with it? I think the question to ask, whatever this is for you, is to what attracts you to doing it. Right? What attracts you to doing it the most? What's that thing, that feeling perhaps inside, that exhilaration of moving forward with this endeavor? And then also what gives you the most pleasure? And then how can you realize your dreams? What's a framework that you use to, what do you contain this fire with to use as your guiding light right now? Because right now it's pure and it has to be contained. The one leads to the two, right? The direction that you put the fire into moving forward. Let's take a look at how you are outwardly expressing this possible fire. What is your effect on others, or what will be your effect on others? How are you expressing outwardly? How you are influencing your environment. So what vessel are you putting this fire into? The Prince of Swords. So this is a very airy card, as it actually represents the air of air, the intellect. Sometimes can be scattered and fickle, but sometimes cut right through to the point. So you may be so excited about this fire that it's hard to contain any one single idea. It's hard to sort of narrow this down, to thread it through the eye of a needle, right? To put it through the art card into the cauldron and step through that doorway. The Prince of Swords is interesting as it pops up in how you're outwardly expressing yourself. As I said, the air of air, intuition, creative thinking, cutting through all entanglements, becoming free of limiting ideas, models, clear perception. And that's exactly what the ace needs. It needs that absolute sit-down moment to say, okay, I know you're burning bright. I know you got energy. I know you want to go and move and light up all the dark places. But we have to have a plan, otherwise you're going to burn out fast. I need to turn you into little candle shapes, or I need to turn you into flashlight shapes, or whatever that is for your light to continue to burn. There is, with the card, there is a little bit of a negative aspect, because it's the idea of, well, if you've always been told that you're clumsy, you're always going to believe that you're clumsy, and maybe you're not. Something may have happened in your past where, this is just an example, someone saw you trip and fall, they labeled you as clumsy, then to them you're always clumsy, and now that it's been voiced and brought into the outside world, now you start to believe that you're clumsy because you just repeat that narrative to yourself. That negative feedback loop starts to become actual reality, right? Or seem like it's reality. But the card is asking you to free yourself from whatever limits your mind and limits your spirit, right? Limits that pure fire. You with this card comes so much energy that you may have a hard time containing it, or at least explaining it, right? So you may have to slow down and explain things to others, whatever this is, whatever this endeavor is for you. You may have to slow down and explain to others what it is, right? And they may have an opinion about it. And you can be humble about their opinion, right? But don't let their opinions turn you into the clumsy person, right? Don't let their opinions dim your light. Don't let their opinions force your way of thinking back into that negative feedback loop. And it also could be that your thinking is just sort of way ahead of its time, and some people just won't understand, so you may have to restructure the way you explain this idea, or restructure your fire into a way that people can handle and hold, so that it can be more readily understood. Let's take a look at what you're receptive and open to, what people, energies, and events that you are attracting. The Prince of Wands. So this is a card. This could be a person. This could be yourself. But it could be someone else in your life asking you to give this fire a vehicle, right? To give this energy something to ride on. Otherwise it's going to burn out, right? This is like having the Roman candle out in a really dry wheat field, right? And the Roman candle's being blasted all over, but it has so much energy it just goes in every direction, and it needs to be contained and formed into something that is controllable and recognizable. So this is the airy aspect of fire. We had the airy aspect of air, we have the airy aspect of fire. And we know what happens when we apply air to fire. Boom. we can get quite an explosion. The Prince of Wands' thoughts are daring. He's impetuous youth. His enthusiasm is bubbling over. He's filled with creative power, right? On one hand, I don't want you to contain your fire. I don't want you to put it in a vessel, right? But on the other hand, if you don't do something, it's going to burn out very quickly, right? It's intuitive creativity. It's coming out of the darkness into the light. But trust it. Trust what's happening here. Trust that you have the idea to contain the fire. and let this prince be the fuel and the vehicle. You have, I can imagine, an incredibly creative mind. Probably so much so that you can't remember all the ideas that you have, and it's probably a good idea that you just start carrying a notebook with you so you can just jot down that idea. Happens to me all the time where I had this incredible idea or a credible dream. Dream journal is a good idea. And the idea comes to you and you nobody's doing that, right? You just know that no one's doing that. Or you've had an original thought. Some people believe that there are no original thoughts. I don't know that I believe that, but you have everything you need to take this fire and take it into the chariot with the ideas that you have and let it burn. Let's look at the key. So this is not necessarily in this case a problem. Let's take a look. So this would be the key, the way out of a situation or around a situation, how to actively overcome the problem. Ten of Cups, right? In this case, not necessarily a problem, right? With the Ten of Cups, a lot of people believe that the culmination of a certain type of energy, right? Air, earth, water, fire. We know that water is the emotions and the deep-seated emotions. And a lot of people think that the tens are the culmination of this energy, right? They're the highest form, but they're actually overflowing. They're a little too much of this energy. So satiety, meaning everything has been satiated. You're relaxing into all of your success, right? Which is an indication that of all these things, this fire and this energy and all these great ideas could bring you to this area here. However, it could very well be possible that you're in such a place of positivity and personal power, seated in your center, right? Chakras are aligned, everything's clicking, that it's become so comfortable that the fire wants to manifest itself again, right? Something is coming into fruition for you. Let's just get a little bit of insight into the Ten of Cups. Again, remembering that the tens are indicative of a little too much of one element or one thing. So Mars in Pisces, satisfaction, fulfillment, and radiating. One of the key messages of the tens is to let things develop, right? Let them come as they will. But also knowing that life gives you everything you need to be happy anyway, right? And sometimes we can have too much of a good thing. I'm not saying that's necessarily the case here. But let the picture unfold. Let this develop, whatever this is for you. Let this happen. Because you have the time and the space and the tools needed to take this fire with pure intellect and to contain it inside something that this pure air of fire won't just burn out quickly. And then relax into the love of it. Relax into the situation, right? The transformation will become complete. Or perhaps you've completed a transformation and you're ready for a new cycle of fire. Either way, fantastic cards. Let's take a look at Secret Language of Darkness. Cards have already been shuffled. Just pull one out of the middle. Let's see where it fits. The bigger picture. The bigger picture. I like this down here next to the 10. See all sides without contradiction. See all sides without contradiction. That actually goes here, right? Because you're being asked outwardly, asking you to see the opinions of others and to not let it contradict what it is that you're trying to build and create. It's asking you to see the bigger picture, but don't contradict those ideas that you have. Don't let others' ideas make you that clumsy one from the past. Meditation, reading, learning, communication, and experience can help us to expand our understanding of a subject, an event, or a situation. Once we have opened ourselves to other views and interpretations, as we were saying before, what do we do with that information? A heightened perspective may challenge the idea that everything happens for a reason, or that an outcome was fated, right? So you're not the clumsy one that people say you were, right? Or that it was your fate, right? So you don't want to live by the cards. We don't want to worship the cards in a way that we do every exact thing. Cards are a guide, right? These sentiments can feel empty and disempowering when held up to suffering. An expanded awareness can help you join the dots and reveal how seemingly random events can fit together. However, not everyone will have the same pieces of the puzzle, nor be able to see the connections. Everyone is on a unique journey, discovering new elements of life in their own time and pace. When you find an issue challenging, ask for help and be open to broadening your perspective. Your higher self holds your soul truth and will always share higher wisdom that can be integrated into everyday life. Give yourself time to acquaint yourself with a new perspective while you wait, and then send love to the world. So give yourself the time to listen to those opinions humbly, right? But to not integrate them into your life. Use that higher perspective and use the vehicle or the torch to light the chariot of the Prince of Fire, right? The Prince of Wands, the heir of fire. Let's get a look at the secret language of light. Soul love. Interesting. 33. Soul love. Threes have been popping up a lot. So this speaks a lot about the soul love without, just intuitively, without digging into the book. Loving what you are, loving what your ideas are, loving the fire, loving your surroundings, loving that you have so many ideas, loving your soul, loving the things that make you you. Unconditional love. You are clear, pure love. Pure fire. Pure spirit. Nothing from your past will block your dreams. Nothing from your past will block your dreams. Your future will be nothing like what has been before. You are at the center of your universe, looking outward through your experiences. When you look out in balance, you are seeing through love and will experience many variations of love. Make love your purpose. Find it wherever you can. If you begin to introduce anything to your world that does not feel like love, shift your awareness and your energy and your eyes until you return to love. Become so devoted to your purpose of love that no one will sway you from it. Unconditional love is not about tolerating or diminishing yourself to make another feel good. These are conditional actions that will make you feel less than or resentful. If you're trying to believe something that is not your truth, believing that you are the clumsy one, it will feel awful because you are not in agreement with your soul. Your job is to feel balance in every moment. If you can't, go easy on yourself, as it is just a sign you are yet to love something about yourself. Possibly a suggestion could be to write or journal about it, right? Journal about those past situations that have made you feel clumsy. Take the fire that you know that you have. Cut through old behavioral patterns. Don't believe everything that you're told, or don't believe the things in the past that you believed about yourself. Embrace that creative side of you, but catalog it, because I know there's a lot. Relax when you need to. You'll have everything you need at hand. Gain a bigger perspective and set your compass toward true north, toward love. That's all I have for you today, Capricorn. Please comment below if any of this resonates with you. This is a great, fantastic, very clean reading for you. And like, share, and subscribe. all of those things. And please keep your sigil of protection close at hand should the darkness decide to answer your call.